Let's call this brief update in response to some incoming questions. Let's call this sun worship misinterpreted. Sun worship as a subsection, we can call it moon worship misinterpreted. Then we can expand on this and speak on the first motherhood being recognized, and then before fatherhood was established, fatherhood had to be established, and this goes to the natural and the primordial genesis, the Ethiopic genesis of humanity. This touches on some core issues that still affects humanity today with the present baby mama dramas and the so-called deadbeat baby fathers, or the deadbeat, and it's interesting how that all connects with the ancient mythos. But there were some questions that had come in and comments that we would like to comment on. So the first of these we want to call sun worship misinterpreted, because it seems like many folks out there who are unschooled and unlearned, especially in the ancient and the biblical languages, and basically just not initiated, you understand, into the house of life or into the ancient mysteries. So, for example, when somebody picks up the Bible and they go to do an interpretation of the Bible, and they forget that Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egypts. If they look in the King James, Acts of the Apostles, I think 7:22, they find that it says the wisdom of the Egyptians. But if they were to look into the Ethiopic and the Metaf Kedus of Kedamawi Haile Selassie, or into the Ethiopic Genesis, because there are actually four Torahs out there. There's four versions of the Torah out there. You understand? But one of them is the original, the primordial, or the original one, you understand, or the prehistorical one before the whitewashed version of history. So we want to touch on a few comments that came in. For example, the Truth Heresy 1 had said Solomon question, LOL. ROFL. You missed the boat. The individual said solo equals sun, MON equals moon, twin pillars, wisdom, day and night, one day, duality, deity equals two. Then they went into Dios, Dia, Gaia, Diana, Dione, diagonal, Di, Zeus, Jesus, deity, decline, degrade, demote, underworld equals moon and stars, democracy, then in parentheses, underworld or the night equals moon, and republic, daylight equals sun equals ray. Then they went on rebirth, reborn, revolve, remake, as our sun re or re will go away only to return again and again and save us all from evil darkness, and the sun burns, gives its life for us all. Then they concluded their point. Israel question, moon, Venus, sun, and Saturn. Yah is the Egyptian for moon, as in Yahweh and Allah. Then the whole woman by two offspring, son or Baal, son of El, elite, elder, and Elohim. Now, this is all part of what we're talking about when we talk about sun worship misinterpreted, and when we're speaking about the Ethiopic Genesis. Because nowhere in any of this so-called assumed and modern etymology, this is all based on the Eurocentric reconstruction or revision, or the European recession, you understand, of the ancient mythos, which originally was African. You have to understand that a lot of this misinterpretation right there is all based on the Aryan revision and not based on the Ethiopic Genesis, because not in one of those words, for example, Solomon, why did you begin from Latin and not from Ethiopic? You see, so if somebody says, well, Solomon just means solo equals sun from soul and mon equals moon, right? That's like kindergarten Latin. This is like kindergarten Eurocentric. This is the Europeans' kindergarten. We're still dealing with the Europeans' kindergarten, and they haven't gotten to the real high school of the Ethiopic Genesis. This is what we mean by sun worship misinterpreted. Not saying that it doesn't apply in a Eurocentric reconstructionist context, but that's the world. This is the world that you're in. This is what they call be born in sin, or this is coming out of Babylon. This is the confusion. You understand the confusion in Babylon? That if you were to get to the Ethiopic Genesis and the original Genesis, even beyond Egypt, go to Egypt's source, you understand, and the Ethiopic and the Ge'ez, then you will get the overstanding. So this is a good, in a sense, understanding based on the Eurocentric reconstruction or revision or perversion or the European version or the whitewashed Christianity, where it says Solomon actually means sun and moon from solo, which is Latin, as we said, and moon, which is, or MON, moon, which is related also to the Greco-Roman and the Eurocentric, whitewashed, Anglo-American, so forth and so on. But if we're speaking about Egypt, you understand, we must speak about Egypt's origin, and that's from the headwaters of the Nile. That's the Tob and Tobia. Why don't you break down Tobia? See, most people, even with Ethiopia, when they say Ethiopia, is from a Greek. You understand, it's from a Greek word that means burnt faces, right? But what about Tobia? Tobia is the archaic name for Ethiopia. What does Tobia mean? Not in Greek, you understand, but what does Tobia mean in the language of Tobia? You understand? So that's the half of the story right there that hasn't been told. So this is just a little update concerning sun worship misinterpreted. More to come. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. There's more to come, Yah willing, on this particular important subject matter.
Almighty God, Allah.
Yeah!
In the person of
Kadamawi. Selassie.
to whom praise is due forever.